guys, it's me back again, Carrie the teen librarian, bringing you yet another takeaway for teens. And whether you came back because you just loved the first set, or whether you came back because you want to see how I can injure myself on this month's craft, or this is your first time here, I'm really glad that you decided to sign on for another month, or first month. It's June, and honestly, I don't think I could have looked myself in the mirror if I had done anything other than Pride. It's Pride Month. And unlike last month when we did mental health awareness, this is so much more than a month of awareness and acknowledgement. It's a month of celebration. It's a month to commemorate the strides that the LGBTQIA movement has made over the years. It's a month to celebrate the equality and love that is just booming everywhere. It's a month to just say, love is love is love. And it doesn't matter who you love. It's just about loving, about looking at the person next to you and not just tolerating them for their differences. It's about embracing the things that make us different. It's about just loving the diversity we have around us, who we love and who we identify as. It's just amazing. It does also have that commemorative aspect though. And to be perfectly honest, I felt almost a little embarrassed about the small little write-up I did in here of the beginnings of how Pride Month came to be. But you try putting it in just a little half a panel of the trifold brochure. There was too much to put in. Suffice it to say, a lot of people link the Stonewall uprisings that happened in June 1969 as the start of the modern LGBTQIA equality movement. There are going to be people who disagree because, well, they do have a leg to stand on. It was not the first major protest for LGBTQIA rights. It really wasn't. There had been protests against police action, against people just being gay in public, well before that. But the thing about the Stonewall uprisings is that they took root and continued, and the organizers of them decided to make it an annual remembrance. There was a gay bar in New York called the Stonewall Inn, and it was a known gay bar, and the patrons were just having an ordinary night there, and the police came in and they raided, and the patrons decided, no, we are not simply going to meekly leave or allow ourselves to be arrested. And so they fought back, and they continued to fight back the next day and the next. They staged protests, marches, all sorts of events to say, we will not disappear, we will not hide, we are not going away. And they didn't. And that's what we're remembering. That's what we remember every June. That movement that may be said to have started the modern movement. And we've come a long way since Stonewall. We really have. These days, when you go to Pride events and it's just waving all kinds of flags and celebrating, we have good reason to celebrate. But you gotta look back at how far we've come to really understand what there is to celebrate. Anyway, the kits this month, I put in, it's more goodie related, let's say, this month. We don't have so many items to help stimulate your brain as you might have had for mental health awareness. This is a celebration. It is. So there's yummy treats in there. Rainbows. There's lots of rainbows because you can't do Pride without rainbows. I hope you like rainbows. I love rainbows. We've got things to eat in there. We've got stickers because you can't have too many stickers, I don't think. We've got a quiz because, well, I'm a librarian and I have done my darndest to make sure that my teen collection upstairs absolutely represents everyone I can get it to represent. And so there are a lot of LGBTQIA friendly books up there. How many of them do you know? How many of them can you identify? If you get through that list, and it's sizable, drop by your answers, maybe you can win a prize at the youth services desk or wherever I may happen to be in the building. Just ask Redhead Librarian, they'll find me. And there is a craft. And yeah, once again, it involves heat and potentially removing your fingerprints. Alright, so there's going to be two different ways of doing this craft. I've given you a canvas, and I've given you a box of crayons. I'm going to demonstrate the first way to do this. You're going to take your crayons, and you're going to lay them out in an order that represents a spectrum, a rainbow. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, if you remember your art classes. And you're going to glue them down onto the canvas, just along the top. You might want to peel the crayons, or you might not. I saw people doing it both ways, and I couldn't make up my mind which would work better. So I decided to go with the way that required less preparation up front. I suppose we'll find out if there was a reason to peel them, right? If you use a hot glue gun, go fast, and please try not to burn your fingers. That's only the first way that you could actually damage your fingers here. Now you're going to take a heat source. A hairdryer will work. You're going to want to put something under that canvas. My husband says I'm not to damage this table because he loves it. And you're just going to heat them up and heat them up, and it will work eventually. Or you could be like me and cheat. I have a heat gun. You might not have a heat gun. Come to the library and borrow mine if you like. And it's going to start melting. So it's supposed to melt straight down onto the bottom half of the canvas. Even a heat gun apparently has some wind direction to it. It's kind of blowing it all over the place. But no one said that it couldn't do that, and people don't know that you didn't mean it to do that. It just looks casual. It looks like a rainbow in a windstorm. It looks nice, don't you think? It's all flowy and lovely, and there's an awful lot of smoke coming off of this now. Maybe this is why people peeled the crayons. Well, that looks okay. Looks lovely. It's very colorful. Let's not let my husband know that some of the wax got onto the table. Alright, let's demonstrate the second way to do this art project, shall we? This one you are going to peel some of the crayons. Maybe you'll like this one better. So you're going to peel the crayons, and then you're going to start shredding them. Little tiny grated slices. You can use a cheese grater, you can use any kind of things. I'm using a pencil sharpener that I didn't mind damaging forever because, wow, it gets hard to get some of the wax out sometimes. And just grate the crayons however you like them. More is better. You could keep your files separate for now, but I'm going to do mine in a circle, I think. You can put yours in whatever pattern you want for this. You could make a rainbow. You could make it just bleed down onto the bottom, like the other canvas, if you like. And by the way, I gave you a box of crayons, and it's a perfectly good box of crayons, but let's say you wanted to personalize this a bit. Maybe you don't want the gay pride flag. Maybe you want something a little more tailored. Maybe you identify with a different pride flag. Maybe someone that you support and love identifies with a different pride flag, and you want to show your support for them by doing a transgender flag, or a lesbian or bisexual flag. You might have to supplement with your own crayons to do that. I'm sorry. I couldn't put hundreds and hundreds of crayons in everybody's bag. That's okay. Crayons aren't that expensive. My hands are getting tired. This is taking a long time to do. Great. It looks kind of pretty like this, though. Doesn't look all that bad. My room still smells like wax and slightly charred paper. Keep grading, just keep grading, just keep grading. Eventually, you will have a nice selection of colors to work with. Now the difference between this one and the last one is with crayons that were glued to the canvas,
it's really only the wax, the melted wax, that could go anywhere with the hairdryer or the heat gun blowing at them. But shreds of crayons, they'll go all over the place if you aim a hairdryer at this. So you're going to have to protect that from happening. Eventually, when you get just the right mix that you want, and it's laid out, a nice little ring there, you're going to decorate, lay it all out, and then you're going to take some wax paper. You're going to use that to cover up all of your graded crayons. You're going to use the hairdryer or the heat gun, either way, and just start melting away. It will get hot. Please be careful.
Slight mishap on the recording here. Apparently my camera decided to stop recording before you got to witness the magic peel away of the wax paper. It looks kind of like this. Pretty, right? When you peel it away, it might stick a little bit to your wax paper. If that starts to be the case and you don't like the way that looks, just put it back down and melt it some more. It'll slide off the wax paper and stay in the canvas then.
There you have it. 2 different ways of doing melted crayon art. You do the one that you like best, and just remember, work fast because wax dries quickly.
I have absolute faith that you're just going to look exactly the way you wanted it to. Much better than mine, right? But remember, even if it doesn't look just exactly Metropolitan Museum of Art perfect, it's still yours, and you should be proud of it. Because it's Pride Month. Be proud of who you are and be proud of what you made.